Alrighty, so as you guys can see, we are back on some Black Ops 6, but that is not the most important thing happening in Call of Duty right now. Despite me going for some of the diamond guns like you guys saw and just catching up on some loose ends in Black Ops 6, including the new Ballerina event, Black Ops 7 got revealed today. Dude, what? We obviously knew that Treyarch was going to be cooking up the next Call of Duty, and like that rumor was kind of going around and there were leaks going all around, but I was not expecting it to be the ender for the Xbox Game Showcase. Over this whole weekend, I've kind of been keeping up on the state of play, Summer Games Fest, and the Xbox Showcase as well, so I'll talk about some of those games and what I'm hyped for at the end of the video. But first, I just wanted to talk quick about Black Ops 7 because I am super excited. You guys know me, one of my favorite things about the Treyarch series and what Raven has done with Treyarch as well is implemented this psychological thriller and horror into their campaigns, and this trailer has no shortage of that. Almost instantaneously I was like, wait, is this like an Alan Wake 3? What are we getting here? Like, what are these crazy nightmarish kind of like obscure scene dreamlike aspects and atmosphere? And of course it's Black Ops 7. So already I'm super excited for that part of the campaign. I think that that is such a strong theme to lean into, and again, it's my favorite part of the Treyarch campaigns. Personally, it's what I think sets them apart from all the other campaigns and just takes it up just another step. Another really interesting thing to note about this campaign is for the first time I think we're actually going to have a really good developed co-op mode again. Obviously this was something that we saw back in I think World at War and maybe Black Ops 2 or 1, I can't remember, but they have implemented it before. We saw it again in Black Ops 3, but I think this time, after many failed attempts in some of the other Call of Duties and scrapped ideas, but this time I think after many failed attempts in like Black Ops 4 and then I think Black Ops Cold War or maybe Black Ops 6 as well, we finally have another co-op confirmed campaign, which I think is really cool. But getting into another part of the trailer that I think is really cool is just the overall time frame. We know that it's set in 2036, I believe, which is after Black Ops 2 but before Black Ops 4 and before Black Ops 3, I believe. We also saw in the trailer that there was like some active camo use, which I don't know if that's going to be a campaign exclusive thing or maybe a multiplayer thing too. I would love to see like specialists come back in some sort of way, even if it's just the specialist abilities but not the specialists themselves. Obviously we see that we play as David Mason, the head of the Black Ops division, which we got a confirmation from actually on Call of Duty's website. And then also on Call of Duty's website we got some lore hinted at that this new villain is basically using scarecrow gas from Batman straight out of Arkham Asylum, hitting the spooky ookie on people to fearmonger and to put people in this nightmare state as a psychological warfare way of controlling, I guess, this war that's unfolding. Now, we don't know if this is Raul Menendez. As far as we know from the canon ending of Black Ops 2 confirmed by Call of Duty, Raul Menendez is dead, and yet we see him at the end of this trailer. Ideally, I think that this is like some kind of fear toxin that is kind of projecting this on David Mason, but who knows, dude? There is a chance that maybe somehow he didn't die and that canon ending was just put out there so no one expected this twist in the story. I have no clue. I'm super excited to see where the campaign goes. I am all over this campaign. I actually just went back and bought every single Call of Duty on disc. I mean, granted, I know I can buy them digitally, but I bought them all on disc to do a big stream marathon of all the Black Ops campaigns. I didn't get World at War. I still have to debate whether or not I want to do that, but I think that would be super cool to do once the Black Ops 7 campaign gets closer to coming out. Just wanted to throw that idea out there for you guys. Expect a long marathon stream. I might do them all in one stream or separate streams and then put them all together in one video for you guys, but either way, super excited to go through those campaigns. Towards the end, we got a little bit of news. Ideally something later this month. There might be either more leaks, more like ARG elements, if you guys know how that whole thing rolls out, the augmented reality rollout, where there's always some games to play and things to figure out and piece together. Treyarch's usually pretty good at that. Or it might have something to do with the Call of Duty events. A lot of people were speculating that similar to the Warzone reveals that they've done in the past, that something might happen at COD Champs in relation to Black Ops 7 because that's also towards the end of June. Either way, ton of secret cool things to look into. I love when Treyarch does this. They have my favorite rollouts out of any developer. It's just so cool the way that they do things and interweave this like mystery aspect. I love it. Speaking of things that I love that weave in mystery aspects, we have zombies. It was shown very little at the end, but we did get a zombies reveal. Zombies is official in Black Ops 7. Going based off of some leaks that we had early on in Black Ops 6, I believe that Black Ops 7, a lot of it looks to be true. It looks like it should be a nice continuation from Black Ops 6. Now, obviously, I haven't talked a lot about the Black Ops 6 zombie storyline or any of the zombie stuff coming out recently, and that's largely because of the ending of Modern Warfare Zombies. At the start of Modern Warfare Zombies, we know that some of the famous characters that we grew to know and that we we have watched throughout the Black Ops 6 and Black Ops Cold War storyline leading into Modern Warfare Zombies die. It was like the first thing that we got shown in Modern Warfare Zombies. Obviously, throughout Modern Warfare Zombies, that whole thing takes place, and we got left with the ending cutscene where this Shadow Man-esque figure kind of pulls our main character Ava into a mirror, and no one really knows what happened. I just got done watching one of Mr. Raffle Waffle's streams where he kind of picks apart some of these theories that people have had in leaks that were kind of coming out. But basically, the large summary is that this new evil person is perhaps taking Dark Ether from these people and trying to absorb Dark Ether in order to reactivate the old multiverse. You guys don't know, the way that the zombie storyline kind of works is that there were all these multiverses going on with all these different cycles, all the way from World at War to the ending of Black Ops 4, where at the end of Black Ops 4 all those cycles get broken, and then we are left with Samantha and Eddie walking through a portal, essentially leaving that entire cycle multiverse dimension thing behind, going into one linear timeline where they're new characters, they're new versions of themselves, but they kind of have these faint memories of everything that has happened to them throughout, you know, the endless years of zombies. And from there, we've been watching them in the Black Ops 6 zombie storyline. That's kind of what we're living in right now. And we know that the last map for this game should be Janus Towers. Now, perhaps somewhere in Janus Towers, we get a kind of open-ended ending where we get some hints towards Modern Warfare Zombies and that, you know, crazy, scary guy collecting Dark Ether through, I guess, interdimensional breaches or characters that are somewhat related to the Dark Ether. Whatever the case is, I really hope that that guy succeeds, because as we learned through some leaks, now again, none of this is 100%, but a lot of stuff is lining up correctly, that that guy may reintroduce the multiverse. So I kind of want him to make, you know, an appearance, and I kind of want him to come back and succeed, because by him reintroducing the multiverse, it essentially breaks the one part of zombies that just kind of threw me off. I didn't like the start of Modern Warfare Zombies basically ending everything that we were going to play for the next 2-3 years and saying like, hey, all that's cool, but like, don't get invested in any of this because it doesn't matter. Modern Warfare Zombies, they're all dead. That part killed it for me, and hence why I haven't been so deeply invested in zombies. But if there's a chance that all that can get reverted or, you know, mixed in or taken apart, extracted, whatever, I'm super there for it. Call of Duty themselves said that Black Ops Zombies takes place in the Dark Ether exclusively, so I'm super excited for that. They said Heart of the Dark Ether specifically, so we'll see where that goes. I just really hope that they make decisions that, and it's kind of selfish for me, but I hope that they make decisions that will reintroduce, you know, these characters from zombies, or kind of turn the tables of zombies to get me introduced to the series again, because I've just been so disconnected ever since the start of Modern Warfare Zombies. But with all that being said, I just want to say that I'm super excited for this Call of Duty. I love that it's futuristic, but I also love that a lot of the stuff hinting towards zombies is kind of coming true, even with the transit bus lights potentially at the end there. We saw that. That was super fucking cool. I'm head over heels right now for Call of Duty. I love Treyarch's campaigns. I love the multiplayer for the most part, and of course I love zombies. Despite not having a lot of content on it, I've been following the storyline pretty closely, despite not playing a lot of the zombies. But with all that being said, again, super excited for Black Ops 7. I don't have any more details than that. I did mention Mr. Raffle Waffle's stream. He's, I think, going to have 2 videos out soon on the trailer breakdown and then also the zombie stuff, so I would definitely recommend checking out his video. He just goes over it with a lot more detail and a lot more knowledge just on the years of lore building that Treyarch has had in these games, so he can kind of talk about and articulate ideas and theories a little bit better than I can. But I just wanted to shout that out there because that's where I learned a lot of this information going into this video. But other than that, taking a break from Call of Duty, I just kind of wanted to go down a list of games that I was excited for that I've learned about over the weekend. I don't remember exactly when all of them are coming out, but just want to talk about them so I can document it, come back to this video later and play them when they eventually do come out. So starting off with the big bombshell, the big, you know, hoopla that dropped yesterday out of nowhere is Lies of P's DLC came out yesterday. Complete shadow drop out of nowhere. We were like kind of expecting it. There were some leaks and rumors, but honestly I didn't think it was going to come out just because it wasn't an initial thing. They were just kind of like, eh, whatever. And then out of nowhere, boom, randomly throughout the event, they just dropped and said, hey, the DLC is here, you can play it right now. Obviously that was super hype, but what wasn't super hype is I didn't realize that in order to access the DLC, you have to beat the entire game and then go back to chapter 5 to obviously open up the branch to the DLC. I didn't know that. I thought it was only going to be accessible once you got to chapter 5. So I started a New Game Plus run once I beat Lies of P, and I regret it, dude. I regret it so much. The New Plus run has been fun for sure, but I was expecting to play the DLC right after Doom the Dark Ages. Now, unfortunately, that might still be the case, but I've had to grind so much Lies of P because I started a New Game Plus, and the day that they dropped the DLC, I was still on chapter 1 of the New Game Plus. So I've been grinding through the entirety of the game. I think I'm on chapter 7 now. Hopefully we can get to chapter 9 because I think that that's the farthest that you have to go, and that's when you get the item that you can bring back to chapter 5 and start the DLC. So hopefully we'll be able to do that. I'm kind of doing that in the background of the Doom streams, which that kind of throws a little wrench in the timeline here because I was going to do the entire Doom series and then Lies of P DLC, but instead we're going to be doing Doom the Dark Ages. After that we'll do the Lies of P DLC, and then we'll finish up the Doom series, and then I'll have to see which games I play from there. But anyway, I just wanted to get that kind of whole thing out of the way because it was a situation that I didn't realize was going to come up, and you know, here we are. But going down the list of games that I'm excited for in no particular order, again, I don't know when these are coming out, but I just kind of wanted to talk about them because the trailers looked pretty cool and the themes were also kind of hitting for me. We have Mortal Shell 2. I never played the first one, but I'm planning on watching a playthrough, and if it looks good enough, I might give it a try for the first one, but I'll definitely be playing the second one as well. I think it's a Souls-like, but it just looks super edgy, kind of like H.R. Geiger themed in some of the aspects. It's super cool. There's also Chrono Odyssey that's coming out. Again, I think this is another Souls-like game, but it also kind of teetered on Final Fantasy a little bit in some parts of the trailer, so excited for that. Again, don't know too much about the series, but I'll try to catch up and look into that. Out of Words is another claymation game. I can say right now that I probably won't hop in and play it, but I'm extremely excited to see how it is received. It's not the type of game that I like to play. I think it's kind of more of a platformer, which isn't my speed, but we just got done playing the Midnight Walk, which is an entire claymation based game, and I think that games like this are so unique that like I really want eyes to be on them and for them to do well, because people I don't think understand how much work goes into these games. You can't just like asset flip these. Like, this is shit that is made by hand and then ported in, 3D scanned, and then like rigged and modeled for these games. So I'm super excited to see how that game is received just from like a video game standpoint. I just want everyone to like appreciate the art that goes into that, and hopefully it works out and they get to make more games like that. I think it's super cool. There's also another game coming out I forget the name of, but it's like a boxing themed game made with real life puppets, which again I think is just so cool because I loved the Muppets growing up, and I think that seeing a game that utilizes that same art style but like actually puts it into a video game in some way is super creative, and I would love for developers to do more of that. So again, I hope that one pops off too, because that's just such a cool idea. It looks super unique. Moving on from that, I just want to talk a little bit about Splitgate 2. Obviously, there's a whole debacle going on with Splitgate, kind of like versus COD now, and the reveal and all that stuff. I'm not going to get into that, but I just thought it was really cool that Splitgate was like dropping a battle royale out of nowhere. We've always been asking for a Halo battle royale, and they never found a way to get it into fruition. But the Splitgate 2 one kind of looks like what a Halo and Titanfall battle royale would be together, movement-wise and like weapon-wise. So that's super cool to see. Of course, I couldn't go without mentioning Resident Evil 9. This is a series that I also have to catch up on a ton, but I'm super excited to play through the rest of the Resident Evil games, including the remasters. I might not be able to get the original, so I might have to settle for the remasters, but super excited for RE9. Crazy drop on this. They pretended like they didn't have anything in store, and then they said, actually, psych, here it is at the end. So super cool. Another game that I think is super interesting that is actually coming out is one called Clockwork Revolutions, I believe. It looks like kind of like a Borderlands, BioShock. Just it was really cool. It's a first-person shooter game, but it just takes like this really interesting aspect to building weapons and like a skill tree that I'm super intrigued to see. There's also plasmids, kind of like BioShock, so I'll definitely give that one a whirl when it comes out. And then, of course, the last big one is all the Gears of War stuff. Obviously, the Gears of War 1 remaster, like full-fledged remaster and multiplayer and everything. I think there's a beta out right now for it, but that'll be coming to PlayStation and coming out soon. And they also talked a little bit about Gears of War E-Day, which is also coming out. I still think that that's 2026, but either way, that's another series that I'm super excited to catch up on before the new game comes out. So we have to catch up on Resident Evil, all the Black Ops campaigns, and the Gears of War series as well. Those are my three big ones right now after doing the Lies of P DLC and Doom the Dark Ages. But overall, super excited for a lot of these games. games. I hope I can actually play them and give enough time to them, but if not, I will definitely be watching a playthrough just because I love games, dude. I'm super excited. But with all that being said, I think I have yapped enough. I kind of used the ending portion of this video to document the games coming out for myself. That way I could go back to this video and see like where the games are and if they're coming out and if I can play them. But either way, just super excited for gaming. I am so excited for everything coming out, and yeah, I just hope Call of Duty sticks to landing. That's the most important part for me right now. But thank you guys so much for watching another video, and I'll catch you in the next one. Peace.